I'm at a new spot today. I never hunted this creek before. I have hunted up here on the banks though. There's a Civil War camp there. It was a Yankee camp, and I believe it was a winter camp because there's pieces of stove and whatnot, and some shallow huts up there. The place has been dogged to death over the years. There's been a million people hunting here. I don't know if they went in the water though. This past winter, me and a buddy were hunting up on the banks here, and we decided to check out the water a little bit. Found some bullets from the water's edge there. We weren't able to go in because it was too cold. Now I'm back. Unfortunately, he was actually here yesterday without me, so I don't know if he left anything. I know we found about a dozen bullets and a bunch of buckshot, but the problem with little creeks like this is unless it's completely loaded with relics, you can hunt them out in a day. So hopefully he left a few things, and we'll find out. So let's get our gear on and see what we can find. I'll show you what I'm using today. Today I got the Garrett AT Gold. I got a small loop on there. Here's a pick that I have a buddy out in Arizona that makes them for the gold prospectors, but it works really well here. And you can see it's got a big old magnet on the end of it. I've got some good gloves too, because I don't know how much glass is going to be in here. So this is how I have it set up today. I put it in disc 1. I'm going to leave the discrimination on about 13. That way we'll hear the bigger iron, hopefully the small iron. It'll just click and beep a little bit. So that's what we'll start with. Okay, I've been here for about an hour. I've worked my way up along the bank here, a couple hundred yards. I found absolutely nothing worth keeping. Lots of holes though, but I'm getting into an area right here where my buddy was digging yesterday. And there's tons of little signals, but as I'm looking down, I can see little pieces of lead and whatnot. So I think it might have been a campfire or something that might have eroded out of this bank. That looks like lead down there. Let's look at it. Yeah, a little piece of lead. So let's dig around in here a little bit, see what we can find. That's pretty cool, huh? That's a bunch of buckshot, probably from bucking balls, some melted lead, and some probably bird shot from shotguns and stuff. So, oh, that's pretty neat. Alright, so I worked this area right here. You can see I've just kind of fanned across toward the shore. There's a little hole right there I dug out, and I got a bunch of melted lead. Got one big round ball and some buckshot. So there's tons of targets in here. I can't really distinguish between them with the metal detector. There's so many little pieces of lead. So I'll come back here probably later this summer when I have a little more time, and we'll work this area a little harder, because there could be coins and buttons and all kinds of stuff in there that you could just not hear because of all these little things. Let's move on. So I was getting ready to move on, and there's a hole I just dug out, but I got a nice high squeak here. So that's not a piece of buckshot. Let's see if we can figure out what this thing is. Nice big round ball here. Gave a nice high squeak. We'll let's look. You can see the indentation in the mud where it came from right here. Look at that. It's pretty cool, huh? Man, I'm getting cold. We'll look around a little bit more. All right, here's a nice little squeaker somewhere in here. Yeah, pretty good target. It's kind of in the sand though, so it worries me a little bit. But there's a lot of bedrock too, so. Big old piece of melted lead right there. That's from a Civil War campfire. That could have been anything. Could easily been a plate. Nice little signal right here. Pretty solid, good number. I've been digging a lot of round balls right in this little area here, so I figure this is probably what it is. Yep, that is a Civil War case shot. This was packed inside of a cannonball. And I just stood up from where I found that case shot. You can see where I dug a few over there, and I can see one just laying there on top of a rock. See it in there? Yeah, you can see that thing hit really hard. See how it's all smooth like that? Probably hit these rocks right here and bounced off, but yeah, that thing hit really hard. Cool, I just found my first drop bullet that's not a round ball. That is definitely a Civil War cavalry bullet. Very cool. There's a neat little find. This off of a white-tailed deer. They shred them in the spring. And they just fall off naturally every year, and that's a pretty cool one. If you look at it here, you can see what things have been chewing on them. Squirrels and mice and things will do that. That's how they get, I guess that's how they get their calcium, or one of the sources of calcium. But yeah, they'll eat this thing right down to nothing over the course of a few years. Pretty neat. I'm not going to carry it out with me. It's too far to go, so I'll just leave it there. Alright, that's it for me today. Been here about 4 hours or so. And starting to get dark. This is what I found today. Well, this is what I'm keeping. I got these horseshoes here. I found some other broken ones I didn't keep. A bunch of melted lead. Here's a big glob. And some round balls. These are the case shot I was finding. These were actually placed inside of a cannonball. There had been about 20 or 30 of those, and when it exploded they would have flown out. I did get one round ball in here. This is actually a musket ball. 69 caliber musket ball. These are perfectly round, whereas if you look at these, they're not perfectly round. That's one way you can tell. A bullet that I found. A few fired bullets, some modern stuff. This is the battery core. You've seen those in some other videos that I've showed you. This is kind of interesting. This is actually the base of an artillery shell, a Confederate artillery shell. If you looked at some of my other videos, you've probably seen these actually attached to the shell. No, it doesn't look like much, but these things are actually kind of valuable, so I'm glad I found that today. So it was a good day. I didn't find anything like fantabulous, except for this, which is kind of cool. But I did have a great time, and I'll definitely come back here again. Probably not till late in the summer, but maybe we'll make another video then. So thanks for hanging out with me.